respect, even when you're vexed. Rock Versace silks over still V-Max. Got green, never seen, so you suck my jewels. Clutch my ooze, anything I touch, I bruise. Puff make his own law, nigga, fuck your rules.
Hi everyone out there, I am Spano Nwabo, your sports guru. Catch me live every Saturday morning from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Only on Nirvana World FM. Your beat, your music. Danko.
The views, opinions, or comments expressed on this program does not reflect the views, opinions, or comments of the radio station or its management.
You are tuning into Sports Geek with Sponelo Ngobo, only on Nirvana World FM. Your beat, your music. Hala! Wayuthwa taba injalo lento loso mnetso halala
Stop it in. All right. Yeah, we back, baby. I'm a buck style. South Africa. Santi. This one is for you. Let's go.
It is Saturday, the 16th of August 2025. That simply means one thing and one thing only, especially when it comes to international rugby calendar. What does that mean? That simply means that the rugby championship champions, the mighty Springboks, they finally get their international calendar underway. They finally get the defense of their rugby championship, which they won last season, underway this afternoon, as they lock horns with their old foes in the form and shape of Australia, the mighty Wallabies. It is happening this afternoon here in Johannesburg, Ellis Park, to be exact. The kickoff time for that match is at 5:10. So please, South Africa, let's paint South Africa green and gold, especially if you're in Johannesburg. Let's ensure that we paint Johannesburg green and gold in favor of the 4 times Rugby World Cup champions, in favor of the 2024 Rugby champions, in the formanship of Rassie Erasmus, Siam Tanda Akolis, and the boys, the mighty Springboks. It is happening this afternoon. Oh boy, and on the line we will be joined by our rugby correspondent in the formanship of Sibongiseni Cele, aka Bokzo. He will be joining us from KwaZulu-Natal, eThekwini Gagasini Banana, at Durban, south of Durban to be exact. There is Emlazi, Eslazini Bagwetu, Bashonjalo Lapan, Abayazio Lapana Emlazi. That's where Bokzo will be joining us. We'll be talking Springboks and stuff that will be taking place this afternoon as the Springboks kickstart their rugby championship defense this afternoon against their old foes in the formanship of the mighty Wallabies. So stay tuned. Sibongiseni Cele, Bokzo will be telling us what can we expect come this afternoon here in South Africa as the mighty Springboks kickstart their campaign, kickstart the defense of the rugby championship 2025 season. Oh yes, Asibasabi Siabafuna. Bring that Australia to the box. Bring those Wallabies come 10:5 this afternoon. The Springboks are definitely raring to go. So Australia be warned, the backlines are drawn. Oh yes, Asibasabi Siabafona, bring it on. It is Saturday the 16th of August 2025. We seem to be having some technical glitches with our sound. Let me try and see if we can. Oh yeah, we seem to be sorted right now. A very good morning and a warm welcome to Nirvana World FM, your beat, your music, and the show that you are tuning in right now. It is a Sports Geek with Sibonelo Ngobo, co-piloting it with none other than Modiba Abida. We bring it to you every Saturday morning. That is between 11 and 1 p.m. We are together. And thank you very much to my colleague, that is Louis Cavender, who brought us the breakfast show that was between 8 and 10 o'clock. Oh boy, what a great interview that he had with his guest this morning. Thank you very much, Louis Cavender. Like I did warn you that your Saturday mornings will never be the same with Louis Cavender behind the microphone on your wireless every Saturday morning. That is between 8 and 10 a.m. Please just hang around, like I did mention at the beginning of this show, that we'll be in conversation with our rugby correspondent in the formanship of Sibongiseni Cele, aka Bokzo, all the way from KwaZulu-Natal, Durban to be exact, Emlazi Eslazini. He will be joining us. We'll be looking forward. What can we expect in as far as this afternoon's encounter is concerned? The mighty Springboks as they kickstart their 2025 international calendar, as they kickstart the defense of the rugby championship, which they won last season. Talking of South Africa and Australia, don't forget that it is happening down under. That is in Australia. In as far as the cricket is concerned, the third and the deciding T20 match this morning, rather, it is taking place out in Australia. So it is a double this morning. Today, rather, South Africa versus Australia in rugby. We are doing it at 5:10. And right now, I can tell you that the T20 cricket match between South Africa and the mighty Aussies has just got underway. So it is the double. The backlines are drawn. South Africa versus Australia in a cricket T20 match that has just got underway right now. 5:10. It is the rugby championship. South Africa versus Australia yet again. Who will it be? Let's hope South Africa, they will walk away victorious in all sporting courts, cricket and rugby come this afternoon. Still with the cricket, I can tell you that Australia, they won the toss and they opted to bowl first. So they have sent the mighty Proteas to bat first. And I can tell you now that Aiden Makram will open the batting, and he also doubles as the captain of the T20 Proteas side. Let's hope the boys, Tristan Stubbs and Devon Previous, they will definitely bring on their A game this morning, and hope that they will bowl the Aussies all over the show.
Siyahamba manje se-France. So bakhombisa lapho. Yeah. We're taking the load shedding for France, boy. Lights down when we land. Lights down when we touch down. Yeah. Let's go, Bok. Bim. Switch off the lights, boy. Everybody sing. Lubu Shabetu. Everybody sing. Lubu Shabetu. Everybody sing. Lubu Shabetu. Oh, what the good Ozokana. Ay, Ozokana. Everybody good Ozokana. Ay, Ozokana. Everybody good Ozokana. In the meantime.
Oh, Konazolahla, let's hope this afternoon. Ozolahla, it's definitely going to be Australia. It is going to be the Wallabies. Ibona Abazolahla come this evening, 7 o'clock, the kickoff for that encounter. It is 5:10. Come 7:10. Let's hope the Australia, Ibona Abazolahla and the mighty Springboks, they will definitely walk away victorious. Talking of that encounter, Springboks versus Australia this afternoon, like I did mention, that we'll be joined by our rugby correspondent in the form and shape of Sibongiseni Cele, aka Bogzo. He will be joining us all the way from KwaZulu-Natal, eThekwini Gagaseni Kwelkabhanana, Eslazini Bagwethu. And let's try and see if we do have our correspondent this morning. Bogzo, are you there, Baba? Hello?
Morning, how are you?
Oh, I'm great and strong. How are you, Bogzo?
I'm good, thanks. I'd first likely to say it's a privilege and an honor to be one of the correspondents on your platform, Sports Gig, with you, Putsibonelo, and your co-host.
Motiva Pete. Oh, yes, I've got him here. He's right next to me.
Are you good, Boxer?
Yes, how are you, Putlem?
I'm good as well. Yeah, it's good to hear from you, and we are in anticipation to hear your insider as far as the Springboks Rugby Championship match is concerned this afternoon.
Oh, yes,
I hope you're ready for the insights.
Oh, yes. Oh, we are so looking forward to it. We are so looking forward to it. Just for the benefit of our listeners and viewers, just tell her, oh, it looks like we've just lost him. Oh, boy, like they always say, Murphy's Law. Bogzo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I thought we lost you for a moment. I heard a funny sound here on my headset. Just for the benefit of our viewers and listeners.
No, I'm still here.
Okay. Just for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, just give us a small background. Bogzo, Kimange, where are you joining us from? And abantu lapha estratini bakwazi ngobani. Just a small background. Good. Sibongiseni Cele, aka Bogzo, Kimange, ubani exactly?
Oh, so my name is Sibongiseni Cele. I was born in Durban in 1999, the 4th of April. I was more of an introverted kid because I was born in Durban, but I had to relocate to Winterthorne or Bregville,
yes,
or Mnambithi or Escort. So the background there ngabana kakhulu umuntu osondele emakhaya, so angibanga umuntu open kakhulu. So yeah, but I came back to Durban in 2016 due to study.
Yes.
That's not bad. Igama lasemgaqweni uBogzo due to usisi wami wayenesikhwele kabi. Usisi wami ngisazalwa wayejwayele ukubuka oPopeye kakhulu, wayengibiza ngomapop So every time I was in the baby crib, she thought I was a cartoon. So and then that name just stuck on.
So you got that name from your elder sister, eh?
Yeah, my elder sister was back then.
Thanks to her that she came up with such a nickname for you. And then you mentioned that you grew up, you were closer to the rural life. And I assume, maybe I might be wrong, that in rural areas, rugby is not that much big. Then just tell us, how did the rugby bug bite you?
Nah, I'll give you a short story, but it's going to be an interesting one. Like you mentioned, Emakai, there's this huge conception with the rugby is not for us, it's for Amabona, Samaplazini.
Exactly.
So why do you want to entertain that? Why do you want to be a part of that? And I think I'm grateful I was born before the period where we won the 2007 World Cup.
Yes, in
when
France.
We had to see the likes of Victor Medfield, Bacchus Botha, Percy Montgomery, Brian Abana. You'd see all these different ethnicities, and whenever the grandfathers would tell you about the 1995 World Cup,
yes,
you wanted to be a part of that. And when you saw that, you would see yourself in all Chile Poira La Pele. So it was always a matter of, why can't I wear this jersey? Why shouldn't I chase this dream? Because if they could make it, what's going to stop me?
You say, what will stop you to not wear this green and gold jersey? I assume that surely you might be having some Springboks favorites. If you can just give us your top 3 Springboks players of the old generation or even the current players. Just give us your top 3 favorite Springboks players.
Since my position is a forward, and I grew up around to base my play style around those people.
Yes.
I grew up around the HD time in Glelo, 100%. He used to wear a white scrum cap, used to play loose forward.
Yes.
Francois Lowe, who played 8 men, or Piri Spies, the bruiserweights of rugby who have given us this tagline of, you have to be physical, else you're not ready to play this game. So those 3 are my top 3. But I'd also include Kwacha Smith because he used to be so versatile when he plays 7s and he plays 15-man code. Because a huge change if you're moving from 7s and playing in the 15-man code.
Okay, I couldn't help noticing that you are so biased. You look at your top 3, most of those players, if not all of them, they are all the forwards. So considering that you also play a forward, surely you are always going to be inclined or allegiance to the forward players. And as far as the rugby is concerned, the Springboks are concerned, and most people, if you were to ask them their favorites, they'll always go for the wingers, your Habanas of this world, your Justin Colbys of this world. But no, not to Pogzo. Pogzo went for Ramapit Bull, the likes of Kwacha Smith. And now, but just looking forward to what's happening this afternoon, the Springboks at the gate, their rugby championship defense against their traditional or old foes in the form and shape of Australia, the mighty Wallabies. Tell us, what can we expect come 5:10 this afternoon here in Johannesburg as Springboks lock horns with the mighty Wallabies come this afternoon, Pogzo?
What I would say from what I've seen, you need to understand a couple of things with rugby.
Yes.
And it also touches back to what I do currently because I work at Durban High School. I coach the under 18 age group rugby sides. I also play club rugby for Queensborough.
Yes, yes.
As always happened is look at how rugby has transformed.
Yes.
We never used to see South Africa playing kicking games or an elusive game. We always had our carriers who would put us into contact, get us into breakdown. But now look at what happened when the Aussie side, the Wallabies, played the British and Irish Lions side.
Yes.
They also had favorite tag under them that they're going to pump the Australian side because they're going through a transitional period where we also went through the dark time of we have no consistent.
Please don't go there. Please don't go there. Please. That's the memory. That's the memory I do not want to hear.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's it. Like I'll go back to your question. Look at the warm-up games that both of these
Yes,
sides had.
yes.
Most of us were expecting a very strong selected Italy side
Yes.
with Ange Capuzzo, who plays for Stade Toulouse in France, who plays
Yes.
15. We've got Negri, who plays loose forward for Italy.
Yes.
But like you see, each and every national side had one goal in mind right now.
Yes.
It's the 2027 World Cup cycle.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking at the box selection, we have people like Damien Delenda, who's worn the number 12 jersey for a long
Yes.
period of time. Andre Esterhazy has received not multiple caps, but countless caps
Yes.
in that position, but has never stepped to the stool to claim box jersey. And look at what people are most concerned about, Kobe not playing, but we need to understand
Yes.
rugby is a physical sport, even for the Australian side. They are going to, for my opinion, I think it's going to be a battle in the breakdown and who converts more points. In terms of that, I mean penalty kicks, because both sides have selected strong sides that are ball-carrying sides. We've got Andre Esterhazy. We've got, surprisingly, in the Australian side, James O'Connor, who hasn't played in a long time in a Wallabies
Yes.
jersey, would also want to add something. We've got someone like Nick White, who's this scrum that also could go either side, cost the Wallabies themselves or cost us. But overall, I think it's going to be a very physical game, but I think South Africa would edge it because we have been breeding people through all these warm-up games while they had to defend their home territory against an English-based side, a Scottish-based side that had multiple Irish players who consistently be performing in the URC, top 14, the English
Yes.
Premiership. So it's going to be a very tough one, I won't lie. But like we see the combination of Manny Lepock and Grant Williams. We've been hearing stories. Grant Williams is could be one of the fastest people
Absolutely.
in the halfback position.
Absolutely.
But you need to consider one thing. Manny Lepock actually came through these past few games. People have always wanted to look at his kicking style, but you need to understand, in rugby, our number 10 is a key. And Manny Lepock has that in his arsenal. He's a very elusive person. He's a playmaker. If you are a very committed rugby person, you'd see how many times he knows where space is in terms of cross-kicking the ball to our wingers. He knows when to put someone through the gap, and he knows when to play. It's just that he has those bad days where he forgets his boots at home. But South Africa,
Yes.
and people shouldn't be surprised.
Hello, Bogzo, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still, yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just finishing
Yes.
off that people should not be surprised on the South Africa victory, but at the same time, do not expect a big margin, because we saw in the last two games the Wallabies played like in the British and Irish Lions. They only lost at the last minute and they won convincingly the last game. So we shouldn't underestimate that team, because on that day they can perform.
You say the Australian on the day they can perform. I was still going to ask you that question, that looking at the preparations of the warm-up games building up to this match, where the Springboks, they locked horns with your Barbarians, Italy and Georgia. On the other side, Australia, they did play the very, very tough British and Irish Islands, of which they lost that series by 2-1. So looking at those preparations, whom do you think is best prepared, got the best preparation and ready to get the Rugby Championship underway come this afternoon between these two teams, Springboks and the Wallabies? Just zooming into their preparations games building up to this encounter.
I'll give you one of the most known quotes in rugby or in life.
Yes.
You can never be too prepared until you get punched in the face. And that's the unfortunate part, because you need
Okay, I'll take
all
that.
preparation come out.
Okay, I'll take
give you
that.
a perfect example.
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example.
Yes.
Look at the Georgia game we played.
Yes.
For the first 25 minutes, for
Yes.
the first 10 minutes, Georgia scored first.
Absolutely.
After that,
yes.
we couldn't get our rhythm going. We were losing. We look back to the people that are actually part of the starting lineup today. We were looking for them. Okay, we need you to step up. We need you to put that fear into those teams. And You need to
Yes.
understand, everyone wants to play the Springboks.
Yes, yes.
New Zealand is gunning to play the Springboks, but we need to understand one thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
Australia, I might say they might be better prepared because we've been doing this for a long period of time. We've got people prepared. We saw Rassie Erasmus bringing Oba Tohlebek,
Yes.
Hashim Peed into the Springbok setup so they understand the culture of the team. So South Africa has the proper game plan and system to groom any player that is ready to step up to the level. I think Australia was better prepared because they played against a team that had a variety of people from different countries who've been performing at a higher level. But the thing is, like with our side knows what it means to play for South Africa.
Absolutely.
Me growing up, or especially, I'm sure you put this ball, don't put label, you grew up around a period of time with South Africa was fighting to be one of the names that stands out in rugby. 1995, as I mentioned, was the pivotal point that changed everything because we are united. As you see, we have different ethnicities in South Africa, but once this day comes, Black Friday, match day comes, we put all aside everything that could put barriers among us. And we stand as one, and those people can hear our voice. Like you mentioned, people need to come at 10 minutes past 5, because once we sing the national anthem, then the opponent understands 1 million people, 2 million people in South Africa. And I think for Australia, as much as they are prepared, they're going to be facing a team that is, and not only because they want to, it's because they understand how much playing at Ellis Park means to anyone. Even a person like Edo van der Merwe, who plays for the Lions,
Oh, yes.
who's moved to the Sharks, this is basically like a goodbye to him from playing in the Ellis Park Stadium. So he's also got something to prove. And he mentioned it throughout the week that he watched last year's Rugby Championship from Ellis Park in the stands, and now he has an opportunity to make history. He scored 4 tries in 3 games. He's going for a 5th one. And I know one. He's going to score one too.
Oh, yes. There you have it, South Africa. You heard it from our rugby correspondent in the form and shape of Bogzo, saying that Australia, they are better prepared as compared to the Springboks, looking at the tough opponents that Australia played building up to this game. You remember that the Aussies, they did lock horns with the British and the Irish Lions, of which Australia, they eventually lost that series 2-1. Surely there was a tough encounter indeed. And he went on and said, yes, as South Africa, we might have our own internal problems, but the moment the Springboks lined up for the national anthem, we forgot all our internal problems, our internal squabbles. We stand together as 62 million South Africans, and we all know that the job at hand, that we definitely have to fly the South African flag sky high, and the Springboks, they know exactly the mandate, the responsibility that they are carrying to do exactly that. Bogzo, still with the Springboks. The Springboks of late, they are known with their bomb squad, the 6-2 split. Even at times when they want to be extremely mean, they even go as far as 7-1 split. But coming to this game, they went with the traditional 5-3 split. Rassie Erasmus is splitting a surprise on us, or what? What's your take on the 5-3 split by the Springboks, considering that that is not their favorite option, Bogzo?
My opinion would be, before I get to the 5-3 split one, I'll explain the 6-1.
Yeah, 6-2.
And it also comes from 6-2. I'll give you an example from what I play in club rugby. I play 2nd division for Queensborough, and whenever you've got a pack, because unfortunately I'm also like 98 kilograms, and that's not the usual weight for a lock, but whenever you get a fresh pack that might be heavier, it becomes daunting when you have to win your first in the scrum. And once you lose your first set and you get driven back, that's where the penalties come from. And I think Rassie Erasmus spotted one thing, and I'll get to this point why it's pivotal to have forwards that are willing to come on, because you need to understand the breakdown has been so transformed to a point where there's so many rules. Whenever you're going to steal the ball in the breakdown, it's about who gets the first two wins the ball there first. And now with the splits in the forwards, it creates more variety of when we're going to scrum time. We know if Ox is going against James Slipper.
Yes.
James Slipper's bind is not good on that side. So if Ox beats him to the sets, we're going to get this penalty. We can have an opportunity to kick for time. Go for the maul. Because we know, like I said, salads don't win scrums. And there's a reason why. Because if you've got a heavier pack and you've got an intelligent front row, it's good to have multiple options on the bench. And we're looking at this weekend's section. Like I mentioned, we see Damien Delinda not being there. We see Cheslin Kobe not being there.
Yes.
And we need to understand, rugby is a physical sport. It's impossible to keep up with the physical expectations week in and week out, whether it's practice, whether it's game day. And for those two individuals that are not there, it's due to looking forward to the later stages of the tournament because we've got people on the bench. So I think the reason why Rassie went for this option is we're not using this match as a tester or an experiment. The boys that are on the field today or going to be on the field are ready for the task. I think he's opted to go for a more viable option in terms of the backless position of we might suffer an injury or there might be a concussion because rugby, it's a physical sport. Anything can happen. And as much as it's good to have these forwards on the bench, sometimes we need to look at the other options because we are going into a World Cup cycle where we need to know who are the people that are going to get into that airplane and defend the country's badge. So we have good variety on the forwards and the backline, which will give us more variety. Like I mentioned, we're starting with the pack and backline players that are willing to crash.
Yes.
That are willing to give that physical element of, are you willing to play against this tough battle in Ellis Park? And the altitude too, that also counts. So when we bleed in these people on the bench, whether it's the backline players like Juan Venter who plays for Edinburgh, who just recently got his cap, that's a different option in the front row.
Yes.
So it's good to have all these options because Australia has never had an opportunity. Even they played so they don't have an opportunity to play against the South Africans anymore. So bringing people they've never seen or they've never played against also adds an element of surprise into the arsenal of the Springboks.
Talking of element of surprise, and you also touched on a very very good point of the inside center position where Damian de Allende normally operates. And this afternoon it is Andre Esterhuizen who will be operating in that inside center position. That's number 12. Andre Esterhuizen is also dubbed as the hybrid player who might be the secret weapon in as far as the bomb squad is concerned. And also looking at the bench that we've got Damian Willemse who can come in and play that inside center position. Considering that Andre Esterhuizen is a hybrid player, do you believe that Andre Esterhuizen might just be the secret bomb squad tool that should Andre Esterhuizen be removed from inside center in the second half, Damian Willemse come at inside center, and then Andre Esterhuizen move forward to the flank, like we did see Andre Esterhuizen, I believe, in the game, in the warm-up games. I believe it was against Italy, where Andre operate in that loose forward position after, I believe, Jesse Kriel got that red card. Talk to us about that tactic of having Andre Esterhuizen as a hybrid player in the inside center position.
Now, I'll tell you something. I was grateful to play in Africa company called Biliki Rugby, where if someone is injured, the coach asks you, do you think you can go there? And you say, yes, go in there.
Yes.
So I think with Andre Esterhuizen, he might have had that opportunity growing up because whenever you've got the willingness, because you need to understand one thing, in rugby, you do get these butterflies before you step onto the field.
Yes.
Once you make that one good tackle from the first phase, the adrenaline starts to pick up, and you feel like there's nothing that's going to stop you impactful in the game. So I think but since we know the coach that is willing to put our country forward is willing to try new elements that will benefit our country, because he knows the options that he has on the bench will not always allow for an additional backline player to be on the bench. So with Damian Willemse, if you've ever watched schoolboy rugby, you should have watched this gentleman during his time in high school.
Yes.
He played inside center, outside center, fullback,
fullback, everywhere.
So you've got a utility forward, and that's the great elements about South African rugby at this point. There are people that can slot in anyway, even with Mani Lipock.
Yes.
Mani Lipock can go to 15, Damian Willemse can go to 10. So, like I mentioned, the 5-3 split is going to cause the Wallabies side too much confusion or too much work, because you are focusing on the first variable of who's starting right now. Okay, we know who we're facing.
Yes.
If Rassie starts bringing out the robots, the green and red robots, they know it's danger. There's fire in the house that's coming.
You just never know what to expect with Rassie.
You never know. And like I mentioned, even myself when I'm coaching, because I work at German high school, like I mentioned, you do sit sometimes and you look at I know when to put this person on. But like I mentioned, you can be prepared all you want until you get punched in the face. Once that team starts winning turnover ball, one scoring point, and now you look at what can I do? Who should I shuffle? And I think for South African rugby, that's the greatest element, because even if we feel like nothing is working at this point, we can literally look at the bench and say there's Damian Willemse. Who do we have? Edu van der Merwe, a speedster on the wing. Who do we have? Kurtley Arendse, a person who actually has the same model as Cheslin Kolbe.
Exactly.
He can jump off the biggest forward. He can tackle the biggest forwards. So if you've got a person like that on the field who's got heart, it's another element. Like we mentioned with a couple of people looking at today's fixture, we've got Will Skeleton, who's got the bigger body frame than Eben Etzebeth. And people feel like
that clash.
He's going to bully Eben Etzebeth.
That clash.
And it's going to be a huge clash.
That clash. Yo, boy, Skeleton versus Etzebeth. That clash. Sparks will fly.
Nah, sparks will fly, because both of these people weigh 145 kilograms to 150, and those are locks. And look at me, I'm 98 kilograms.
Yes.
As much as they say Dynamite is packed in small packages, but those packages are too big to be packed. And it's just going to be a huge physical combat. And I think it all comes down to, are the Wallabies willing to keep up, or are they going to play an expansive game plan of, let's try to get them in the wings, let's try and put them in the corners, let's try and use our speed, because it's going to be a huge battle in the midfield centers and in the lock pairing of Etzebeth against Will Skeleton.
Oh yes, that's going to be a tough clash indeed, Bogzo. Surely I wouldn't have said it better myself. Looking at that clash, that's much anticipated clash between Will Skeleton and Andre Etzebeth. Definitely sparks will fly, and the people in the corridors that they've been talking about that clash. Like I said, I wouldn't have said it better myself. Now moving away from the Skeleton and Etzebeth clash, just going to our captain, fantastic in the form and shape of Siya Kolisi. He starts at number 8, which allows Marco van Staden to start at number 6, the flanker. This takes me back. What is your take on Siya Kolisi starting at number 8? I'm tempted to go back to the retirement of Duane Vermeulen. That since the retirement of Duane Vermeulen, straight after the 2023 Rugby World Cup, have we find the reliable and the go-to number 8 position? Why do I ask that? Because I've seen a lot of players playing at number 8. Your even Rose, they've been there. Jesse Kriel got the red card in that game against the mighty Barbarians. Siya Kolisi, whom we have got used to him playing at a flank, but I believe maybe this is the second or the third game I see Siya Kolisi starts at number 8. Just talk to us about that number 8 position, and especially with Siya starting at number 8 this afternoon.
I won't lie. I'll give my honest opinion on this one. You need to understand there are variables in whether you play in a loose trio. Our flank is usually a post
Yes.
The person who waits for the tackle to happen and he steals the ball so we get the penalty. Our flanker, he's the carrier. He's the one who's working alongside the wingers because we've
Yes.
positions in rugby that's called the trams. That's where in your 5 and your 15 meter on opposite sides of the fields, you've got people assisting in the breakdown next to number 11 and number 14. And 8 is basically the additional person who can just roam around the field, who can just get us into those spaces, into that breakdown. And he has played number 8 for the Sharks.
Yes.
And he did convincingly well. But you need to understand, look at the number 8s we had beforehand. Like you mentioned, Dwayne Vermeulen.
Yes.
Anyone who knows Dwayne Vermeulen had the skill sets.
Yes.
Look back to the World Cup we played where we unfortunately defeated, where he put through Fury Dupree against Wales.
Yes.
No one expects a forward to be thinking of, in that position, let me free my hands, let me put my halfback in, let them score a try. And we've got a different variation with Siya Kolisi. Marco van Staden plays flank, loose side flank or tight for the Bulls, and he's done very well. But let me not beat around the bush and just stick to it. It's a very good selection for him to be an 8 because there's always this opinion on Evan Roos that he's not ready or he's not reached the peak to be playing at the international or test level rugby side. So with Siya Kolisi, we've got the voice of a captain on the field.
Exactly.
Yes, we've got multiple options on the field, but with Siya Kolisi, we've seen rising of the sun every time the World Cup comes, and they all say the same thing. With Siya on the field, he commands the voice because he's the picture and he's basically the brainchild behind what is coming from an advantage of Emakhaya and in a background of a black family of is he going to make it? Is he making the best decision for his life? And look what happened. Back to his home school, which is one of the top schools in rugby. He's got a name for himself. He's got a school field. The main field is named after him.
Absolutely.
So that person has been built for this level. He's played for one of the big schools in South Africa, JPE. He's been phenomenal for South Africa, but I love the other loose tree that joins him, Marco van Staden. They call him Eskom because whenever that person runs at you and he bumps you off, electricity is gone. You'll never see what. Because,
lights off.
And I think that's the beautiful option that Rassie created because he's got number 6 and 7 who are going to be carrying, who are going to be. So it allows Siya, because as we see, we've got PSCD, Peter Steph du Toit.
Yes, at number 7.
We saw what he did against New Zealand.
In the final,
he was hitting the Barrett brothers
in the Rugby World Cup final. Yes.
So now, so look at those two options. You've got two options that can steal the ball, that can carry. What does it allow Siya to do? To be the element of surprise of whenever you're worried about, is Marco van Staden coming around the rack? Is PSTD coming around the rack? They still got Siya. And you haven't even included our front row, who also are good carriers. We've got our locks, who are also good carriers. So the defensive line of Australia is going to battle with that because we've got people that are willing to carry. They are willing to get us over the advantage line. And it allows command these people because he's got the IQ. We've seen, if you've watched the couple of documentaries, even referees ask him, how do you know most of the rules that we don't know? So now when you bring us back to the TMO, we didn't pick that up. So it's good to have a captain like that who also has the skill set to play his opposition into a confusion because he's also got the skill set in his hands to put people through. He knows when to carry, he knows when not to carry, he knows when to say, let's let the backline play because we've got a play called Ghost, where the forwards fake like they're going to carry and allows the backline to put each other through. So Siya also has that combination of he knows what the backline needs to get over the line. And it's pivotal to have a forward, especially at number 8 like that. And I think Rassie is still trying to figure out someone who's coming through the ranks. But I know someone who actually might fit in that role, but unfortunately got injured. Cameron Honeycomb, who plays for the Bulls. So I think Sia's just going to be in that role for these 2 fixtures against Australia. Then we'll have our normal routine of who's playing in that loose trio.
Okay, I wouldn't have said it better myself, Bogzo. I believe you said it very, very clearly in as far as that loose trio, especially that number 8 position is concerned. The way you explained it. So just a short answer from you. Since the retirement of Duane Vermeulen, that number 8, are you comfortable that we are covered? There is no crisis in as far as number 8 man is concerned. Just a quick answer.
No, we are comfortable, and it'll also come back to the point where we don't see Handré Pollard. It's because we have to think of the vision. 2027 World Cup is around the corner.
Yes, exactly.
And Pollard has reached 32 years. It's highly unlikely. Might even be there, because once the body takes the toll, it's going to battle. So in the number 8 position, we've got we've got Cameron Honeycomb, we've got the Tetuka brothers, Vincent Tetuka, who plays for the Sharks.
For the Sharks, yes.
We are covered, and we haven't even looked at the under-20s that have
Oh
performed
boy.
exceptionally well.
Oh yes,
The European side.
Oh yes. That is
schoolboy rugby. We've got so many options. We've got a huge supply system that's always going to be challenging. If it's properly coordinated and managed, we'll never have an issue.
Oh yes, Bogzo, you're definitely right in as far as looking at the under-20s as well, who have just conquered international rugby. And you also went on and touched on the very, very interesting point of Handré Pollard, which takes me straight to the next point of discussion. Yes, I know you have touched on it, the halfbacks combination, but I would like us to zoom further in that halfbacks combination. Looking at this afternoon's encounter in that halfbacks combination, we do have Grant Williams, the speedster of Grant Williams, and I can tell you now that Grant Williams is definitely one of my colleagues' favorite players. Modiba, he likes Grant Williams so dearly. So he'll be partnering with Manie Libbok this afternoon. That halfbacks combination, what can we expect from them? Like, yes, I know you did look at it, but let's just zoom in to that halfbacks with exactly what will they offer come this afternoon.
Oh, there's so much to expect from the 2 halfback pairing, because I think, like I mentioned beforehand, people are going to look at how Manie Libbok performs, because we've got Handré Pollard not even on the bench.
He's not on the bench.
Go back to one of the, when we look back at the playoff games where Manie Libbok wasn't having the greatest game, and he got pulled off in the first half just to get Pollard in to start kicking us through the points.
Yes.
Start playing us through the game. And I think he went through a dark patch where he needed to figure himself out, and he actually picked himself up. And with this 2 halfback pairing, for some people that have not watched Manie Libbok's game, Manie Libbok is going to be doing wonders today, especially with a person like Grant Williams. Grant Williams, from the base, from the ruck, gets that pass in, whether it's to the forwards, to Manie Libbok. And what is very interesting to see is both of these players are playmaking options. Yeah. We've seen the speedster, whenever he decoys like he's going to pass and he sees there's no pillar in post, and he runs.
That Grant Williams.
Opposition team.
That Grant Williams is something else with his speed.
I'm sure for you, your people or people around your age, he reminds you of the speed that Brian Abana against England.
Yes, exactly.
So if you look at those options, like I mentioned, be careful to notice 2 elements of that game. It's going to be a very quick game. It's going to be a very playmaking game, because both these options play the ball. They never want to hold on to the ball, and both of them know they've got the elements of speed within them. as much as we've never seen it on Mani Lippok, but Mani Lippok knows when to turn up the gas, hit the space, so he gets his big boy on the side, Andre Estere. So it's very good for the South African side to have these two options playing together, because these options know when to see the space, and it's going to be pivotal on how they break down Australia, because those two people are going to be controlling each and everything that happens for the forwards and the back line. So that combination is going to be very dangerous.
That combination is going to be dangerous, but with Mani Lippok, surely he has got another responsibility of kicking, taking those conversions, those penalties. And at the beginning of our discussion, you did mention that sometimes, Mani Lippok, he does forget his kicking boots at home. Yeah. What about that pressure? Should it kick in? Should it come to a stage where we need Mani Lippok to kick us over the line? And also considering that this afternoon's match is taking place here in Johannesburg in a very, very, very high altitude area. Talk to us into those aspects. The Mani Lippok kicking boots, should he not bring them to Ellis Park this afternoon?
I'll give you a funny story that I dealt with this season. I had my multiple Mani Lippoks in my rugby side where even in front of the post they couldn't kick. So I've got a colleague. It's been a very tough season, but the overall it was a good one. But I'll touch back to what you just asked me. I've got a colleague, Matthew Stride, who assists my backline in terms of kicking.
Yes.
Because I'm a forward, I've never been under that pressure. But
yes,
when he gave me the explanation, I understood what goes through this person. Because whenever you have to convert a penalty, whether distance or the angle, you need to, like you mentioned, look at the altitude. Are we going to be expecting wind today?
Yes.
Have you been playing at this level? Because we know penalties and conversion, there's a timer now. So this person has to place the kicking tee. He has to position the ball. He has to get his walking stride in that position, because once he moves forward, Che can block his kick. And I think for Mani, he never got into the rhythm of finding his elements or his form of kicking. Because when it mattered, when the Stormers reached the URC final, he kicked one of the most impossible kicks and he put the Stormers through. But it also adds to what Rassie came up with right now. We've got Grant Williams, who can kick. They've got Apelele Fasi, who can kick. Damien Willemse, an option on the bench who can kick. And I think that's why he went for this option of multiple kickers on. He's not going to take the responsibility away from Mani Lippok, because as a coach, you always want your fly half to have all the confidence in the world, because if his kicking is going well and his playmaking is going well, you have no worries to happen. But if he starts faltering in the kicking, it's going to battle throughout the game. So we saw in the last game against Italy, he didn't miss any kick.
Yes.
He got all of them over. And I think that storm or that bad patch is over him. And I think he's finally found what works for him, because we always knows whatever job you work in, whether it's sports, whether it's 9 to 5, you always have to find what works for you, your routine, your schedule. And once you get into the rhythm of that, you actually get used to everything. You might not have your good days, but it's always going to come through if you use the structure and the form that you have. And I think Mani is going to be a very important key in kicking us over most of the points, because like I mentioned, with the physical elements of the game, there are going to be penalties, and we need our kicker there, and it's Mani Lippok.
Let's say you were to be a Rassie Erasmus this afternoon, and you are playing a Rugby World Cup against New Zealand. Let's move away from the Rugby Championship. Let's say you are playing the Rugby. It is 2027 this afternoon. 2027 Rugby World Cup. You are playing against New Zealand in a once-off Rugby World Cup final in 2027. You have to choose the fly half. You've got Sasha Feinberg Mngomezulu. You've got Henry Pollard. You've got Mani Lippok. You've got your Damien Willemse. Tell me, whom would you have at number 10 and whom would you have on the bench? Out of all those luxury number 10 for you, whom would you put in the starting 15 and also on the bench? It is once-off Rugby World Cup final against New Zealand this afternoon. You are Ras Erasmus. Talk to us, Bogzo.
Hey, for this move, why not wait to put me on the spot? Because all of those options, who do I take? Who do I leave? Because I can't
talk
leave
to
this
us.
middle. It's going to be 3 in a row.
Yeah, but tell us, whom do you start at number 10? You've got it's a Rugby World Cup final this afternoon against New Zealand. You've got Manile Pok with
Sasha Feinberg.
Sasha Feinberg. Where do you put Sasha Feinberg? You start him or you put him on the bench?
I'd put Sasha Feinberg at 10, Damien Willemse at 15, and Andre Pollard at the bench. Manile Pok, you would have to forgive me.
Okay, where do you put Manile Pok? You're not finished. I'm listening.
Manile Pok, I'd have to open a space for him on the bench if there is space. I don't think I'd have space.
So you say you'll start with Sasha Feinberg Mngomezulu at fly half, ne?
I'd go for that option because as much as I'd like to mention again, Sasha Feinberg also had the same issues, if I'm not mistaken, was against Georgia.
Yes.
Where his kicking was not up to par.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he had to be hooked off because it was becoming too costly.
Yes.
But like I mentioned, it's the points that matters, which are the points that you have to kick over, which is penalties and conversion. But if you look at the elements of having a Sasha Feinberg and Mngomezulu, imagine playing Sasha and Grant Williams. Both of these people know how to. They're one of the 2 speedsters I think we have in the backline. And it also creates an element of Sasha Feinberg is an exceptional playmaker. If you look back to the game we played against Wales at the Principality Stadium, where he played his first international game.
Yes, absolutely. Last year, yes.
He stepped up to the plate. And with me, I've got so much confidence in him because he has shown on multiple times when he's called, he's willing to perform. I'm not saying that Mane is not, but the thing is with Mane, it all comes down to how long can he keep the momentum of playing at that level. And if you look at a Sasha Feinberg, who's had time at an earlier age, because like we see, South Africa is between an age system of, we've got majority of the people that have put the side through on 2 occasions in the World Cup to win the World Cup, who have reached the age where we don't normally see these people at the age of 32, 30, 34, 35 playing in a World Cup cycle or even still top tier rugby.
Yes,
I think we need to start to look at the options. Yes?
Yes, I wouldn't have said it better myself. Now, with due to time constraints, after all's been said and done, come this evening, 10 past 7 o'clock, I believe that's when the final whistle will be blown. Whom do you honestly expect to walk away victorious? Yes, we've had this discussion at the beginning of our discussion. Yes, we did look at the preparations building up to this game. The favorite tag and the underdog tag. After all's been said and done, come 10 past 7 this evening, who will be celebrating and why?
For the people that are bettors, I've got them a very good option here. South Africa to have a winning margin of 10 points. And
10 points.
I think it will all come down to outs and our kicking, honestly speaking, because we can't always look at the factor of we're going to be physical against every team. Every team is willing to go up against us physically. And we saw that against Georgia. So I think if we get our scrums, lineouts, and our kicking on par, we are going to win very convincingly against the Wallaby side.
There you have it, South Africa. I didn't say it, but our sports correspondent, Bogzo, all the way from KwaZulu-Natal, Durban to be exact, Mlas, that is the south of Durban. He does predict the mighty Springboks to walk away victorious come this evening with a massive 10 points difference. I didn't say it, Bogzo did say it. And I'm not going to complain. I will take that prediction and run with it. So if our sports correspondents predictions are anything to go by, South Africa, get those price stands out, get that Purevos and spices ready, start that fire. It is celebration time. Come at 7 o'clock this evening, as per our rugby correspondent prediction. Upogzo Lapana, it does predict the 4 times Rugby World Cup champions and the Rugby Championship defending champions, the mighty Springboks, to walk away victorious this afternoon. Now, Pogzo, before I let you go, time is definitely not on our side. Now, stepping away from the men's rugby and then go straight to the women's rugby. The women's Springbok, they will be participating in the Women's Rugby World Cup, which is scheduled to get underway come the 22nd of this month till the 27th of September out in England. What can we expect in as far as the women Springboks are concerned in this year's Rugby World Cup, Pogzo?
One thing before I do not eat most of your time. One thing I want everyone to notice is South Africa is going on a very green patch, even in the women's rugby side, with the introduction of Swayze de Bruin, who's coached at top-level rugby in South African franchises. Like we saw in the Springboks men's side, if you've got a proper structure in the coaching management and in the lower levels, you've got everything sorted. As we saw through the 2 matches they played against New Zealand in Cape Town.
Yes.
The result wasn't very happy to see in the first game, but once you know South Africa's got your back, like
Yes.
I mentioned earlier on, the South African women put it all on the body and they managed to pull a victory over the New Zealand, which is one of our greatest foes. And I think South Africa is going to perform better than throughout this tournament than any other tournament they had previously. And we're going to make it through the group stages and we're going to get to the knockouts. And we hope the girls bring it back, especially since it's Women's Month. We have their back, and we know for a fact they are going to be bringing back the crown.
Oh yes, there you have it, South Africa, our rugby correspondent in the foremanship of Pogzo Sibongiseni. He does plead with all the South Africans to definitely support the women Springbok as they will be flying the South African flag sky high in this year's Women's Rugby World Cup. That will be taking place out in Europe, England, to be exact, from the 22nd of August till the 27th of September. It will be happening. Let's hope the women Springbok, they will definitely bring it home, and their preparations, like Upogzo did mention that they did have those warm-up matches against New Zealand. Surely it doesn't get any bigger and better as playing New Zealand as your warm-up game. Surely that was one of the best preparations, as the best that the Springboks could have got. So surely let's hope the Springbok women's side, they'll go on and fly the South African flag sky high. Thank you very much, Pogzo, for your time. But once again, before I let you go, just tell us exactly what are you busy with in as far as rugby is concerned. I heard you mentioning that you play and you are also coaching. Let's just recap that part. That what are you doing rugby-wise as we wrap our discussion?
Rugby-wise, right now, I'm in one of the top schools in South Africa right now, which finished 8th in the entire country, which is Durban High School.
Yes.
And I appreciate, it's a privilege and an honor to work with these boys on a daily basis through our headmaster, Mr. Pinero, and our director, Mr. Pile. I coach the under 18th side.
Under?
The 6th side. To be specific. Under 18 age group.
Yes.
Under 18 age group, which is the 6th side.
Yes.
And for myself, I play club rugby for Queensborough in Durban near Melbourne. If people want to join, please do, because it's never too late to enjoy the elements of playing rugby, because after that good game, you get an opportunity to watch the Springboks. So that's me currently right now.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Pogzo, for your time. Before I let you go, how does one get in touch with you social media wise if one wants to phone and talk rugby with you? How does one get in touch with you?
You could find me in the following social media pages.
Yes.
On Instagram, it's Sibongiseni, C, all small caps.
Yes.
Facebook, Pogzo Sibongiseni Cele.
Yes.
And any other information is my work email address, which is sibo, SIPO, .cele@durbanhighschool.co.za.
Can you repeat that email address again?
It's sibo, SIPO,
Yes.
.cele@durbanhighschool.co.za.
Thank you very much, Pogzo, for your time. Let's hope next time when we need to have a discussion with you, you'll definitely honor the call and come and share some insight in as far as rugby is concerned, Pogzo.
We've got a very long rugby championship, so I hope I'd get an honor and a privilege coming back on this platform, especially on person after watching the past interviews with Usis Portia, which was very impactful. But yeah, I'm also looking to be a part of this team.
Okay, before I let you go, my colleague Motiva, I believe, has got something to ask you, Pogzo.
No, it's so good to hear from
Not a
you.
problem.
And in future, I just recommend come and honor our invite if you are in need of an insider. So you've really schooled us this wonderful morning.
No, I appreciate. I'm always willing to share my knowledge because it's not an opportunity like this. A boy like me from Umlazi gets an opportunity to share all this knowledge about rugby and be given a platform where I get to uplift other people so they can have hope about rugby themselves.
Oh boy, did we enjoy your insight? Oh, did we enjoy it? Oh boy, that was great indeed, Pogzo. We really appreciate it here on Nirvana World FM. Your beat, your music, and the show that is a sports kick with Spanalo Ngobo and Motiba co-piloting it with none other than Motiba Peter at this time around. Thanks once again, Pogzo, for your time.
Thank you very much. Please enjoy the rest of your day and come on, wear your green jersey. Hope to see you at Ellis Park.
Oh yes, Peter Stashot. Straight after this show, guess who's going to Ellis Park? We are heading straight to Ellis Park. We've got our tickets and everything lined up. We can't wait to join the festivities out there. Go Ellis Park Stadium. We'll definitely be painting Joburg and especially Ellis Park Stadium green and gold. Thank you very much, Pogzo, for your time once again.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. That was Spongseni Cele, also known as Pogzo, joining us from KwaZulu-Natal. Ethekwini Ekakasini Kwelka Banana, Mlazi to be exact. Just looking at the Springboks versus Australia preview that is taking place this afternoon here in Johannesburg. Kickoff time for this encounter is 5:10 and the venue is Ellis Park here in Johannesburg. So you owe it to South Africa to paint South Africa green and gold, and especially Johannesburg and Ellis Park Stadium to be exact. Let's quick go for a breather. When we return, we'll be talking cricket. Oh, thank you very much to Gun Flavor and Emo Naila Pana Inzizo, the legend, Master KG. They gave us the song. Ow! Shutheni bakwethu ngicela ukuphuma sengezile ngiyabona abantu. That's what that's how that song goes. None other than Gun Flavor, Master KG together Naila Pan Emo. They give us the song Shutheni. Without any further ado, let's dive straight to cricket and time. Oh, we seem to be running up behind the schedule. We got carried away when we're talking rugby with our rugby correspondent in the form and shape of Bogzo, all the way from KwaZulu-Natal, Tawine Kakasini, Kwelga Banana, Mlazi to be exact. But this time around, let's dive straight to cricket. It is happening down under in Australia. South Africa, they are locking horns with their old fools once again. But this time around in cricket, Modiba, talk to us. The T20 series, South Africa versus Australia.
On that note, let me greet our lovely listeners and our viewers out there, and it's good to be here. And yes, we're busy being schooled in rugby. Now we are coming to another different school in the form of cricket. Yes, we've just played the match started last week on the 10th, and we managed to win the first. In fact, they lost the first T20.
Oh, that's South Africa.
South Africa. We lost to Australia. As Australians won by 17 runs. So one of their players, Tim David, was outstanding in that first T20. Then you come into the second T20. I think as South Africans managed to win that particular by 53 runs, of which you look at player also for Teval Brevis, what a performance on 50.
Oh boy, he was mean.
He was mean, and then also scoring a century, 125, especially in the second T20, where we also in the first T20 we had a player of Randy Kelton as well. So you get on from our bowler side, Kagiso Rabada, Copin Bosch, Kodama Parker, grabbing those wickets for us, and Kodama Parker was outstanding as well in the second T20. So I was so impressed. So let's look today, because of, as you rightfully mentioned at the start of the show, that this time around, this other player, Keshav Maharaj, yes, he's the one who's going to be in the betting side. So hopefully he'll pick up those runs and we win the match.
Oh yes, it is interesting indeed. I can tell you that the third and the decider of that T20 series is currently underway down under. That is in Australia, and I can tell you free of charge that is Australia. They won the toss and they opted to bowl first. And I can tell you, I can bring you the latest score right now. What is happening down under? That is in Australia, as in right now. South Africa, they are batting, and we are on the 13th over. We are on 12.5 overs. The scoreboard reads 116 runs for the loss of 4 wickets. That is after 13 overs. So meaning we've got 7 overs to go for South Africa to finish their innings. And I can tell you that it doesn't look bad at all. It doesn't look bad at all. Yes, it is Australia after all. So it is best to go on and post something above 200 margin. So that will definitely have a psychological effect on the Australian batsmen as they come in for their innings. So let's hope the Proteas, they'll go on and post something 200 and something on the scoreboard. That is definitely a defendable scoreline. So right now the scoreboard reads 117 runs for the loss of 4 wickets. South Africa, they are batting. So Australia, they still yet to bat. The current bowlers, in as far as Australia are concerned, it is Ellis and none other than Zampa. And the current batsmen who are on the crease right now, it is none other than Tristan Stubbs and Rassie van der Dussen. Tristan Stubbs is sitting, he has faced 16 balls and he has got 20 runs and not out, while Rassie van der Dussen has faced 5 balls and he has got either equal number of runs. 5 balls, 5 runs. That's how things are standing as far as the current Proteas batsmen who are in the crease right now. Let's hope the Proteas, they'll go on and post that psychological effect scoreline of 200 plus.
Indeed, and you can see that this is I think it's a trap from Australians. Yes. Let's just go and bowl despite having won the toss. So hopefully we'll frustrate them when it's our time to bat. So I think our players
to bowl rather.
to bowl, in fact. So for on our side, when we come on up to bowl, hopefully our players will frustrate them. So but then it's a tricky game of the fact that whoever wins today, he will be the winners for T20, because of currently the scoreline is deadlocked at 1-1 because of they won their first T20 match, we won our second T20, which made the score 1-1.
Yes,
so
yes.
Coming today's a do or die, and then also it will also push us into the ODI, which is taking place the next weekend from the 16th, should I say the 19th. So let's see, the 19th, the 22nd, as well as the 24th. So those are the dates where the ODI match against the very same Australia will be taking place. So in terms of the squad, I'll just quickly because some of the players has been excluded. The likes of Kona Mapaka will not participate in the ODI. We've got Themba Bavuma, Aiden Makram, Ryan Rickelton, Tristan Stubbs. You just mentioned him as well, that he is currently holding the bat. Then Matthew Priske, Tony Dizozi, Deval Brevis, he was outstanding in this T20, and then the VR Mulder, our very own all-rounder, player to watch, the Leandro Pretorias, the future looks bright. You know, those runs. He also scored the century during those matches we've had so far. Kagiso Rapada as well. Corbin Bosch, our very own bowlers there, who makes things happen as far as winning the wickets is concerned. Lungin Giti as well is coming with his experience. We've got Keshav Maharaj as well, another player who scored a century before as well. So against I think Australia, if I'm not mistaken, in that Test Championship. We also do have the Sarunan Mutusami and also Pranelan Suprayen. Those are the creamer and tried and tested squad that will be participating in the upcoming ODI as of the 19th of August until the 24th. So it's looking good so far. The only thing that we need to do now, we wrap up this T20 and make sure that come the 19th, we do well in the ODI.
Oh, that will be interesting. Indeed, should the Proteas go on and beat Australia in their own backyard, especially today, Nohal, of all the days, considering that come this afternoon. We'll be changing gears from cricket and go straight to rugby. So should the Proteas win the match that is currently underway in cricket, and then come this afternoon, the Springboks do it again in rugby, that will be one of the best days to be a South African, winning in two different sporting codes against Australia. Nohan, in just a question of around about 3 or 4 hours gap.
I think it took me back to, if my memory serves me well, remember when Dricus Du Plessis was in action?
Yes.
The very same South Africans were in action. I think it was the same Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
So you see, so it's Australia, it's like part 2 once again, and we did well. So hopefully this time, because if not boxing, it was boxing and rugby, this time it's rugby and cricket. Hopefully we will do well again. So I trust our players, and as South Africans, we are in the winning nation.
I can go on and tell you are free of charge that you've just mentioned a very, very interesting point of Dricus Du Plessis that he was fighting at some stage when the Springboks were playing in cricket. And guess you what? Tomorrow morning, about 3-4 o'clock South African time in Chicago, Dricus Du Plessis will be fighting once again. Let's hope he will walk. He's the defending champion. He'll be fighting against the Russian Chimaev. It's gonna be a tough encounter indeed for Dricus Du Plessis in the mixed martial arts. It's happening around about 3-4 o'clock tomorrow morning South African time. Let's hope once again he will go on and fly the South African flag in the mixed martial arts. We've done this before. We can do it yet again today in cricket, in rugby, and in mixed martial arts. Oh boy, interesting time to be South African.
Indeed, and I saw it that even the entrance, I heard that it might be for free for all those who want to watch Dricus Du Plessis in action. But we all know it's a wonderful South African who always put us on the map. So hopefully when we come back, we'll come back with the feedback and alert the listeners of what to expect. So I'm sure the likes of your other players who, should I say, the boxers who fought with him, they're still upset, they're still bleeding that this one, he always blacks them us.
Oh yes, Dricus Du Plessis, he always bring that South African yes. Now we're moving away from cricket. I don't know what's happening in as far as Formula 1 is concerned. Motor racing, what are the upside? How is Max Verstappen coping with pressure from the McLaren boys, Abo Lando Norris and Abo Piastri? They are bringing the gears. They make life as tough as possible for the Red Bull team, the defending champions, Lapana Omega. Max Verstappen, who finds the going very, very tough in this 2025 season.
Definitely, yes, he finds the going very, very tough. But then I think they are on a lengthy break. The whole F1 motor racing, if I can just alert the listeners that it will returns to action on the 29th of this particular August.
Yes.
On that weekend, and let's see if Max Verstappen would have sat down, introspect himself, because remember the Christian Horner, the principal doctor, teacher, there was coach I should say, was sacked. So we thought he was going to do well in the previous Austrian Grand Prix, but then it wasn't the case, as he arrived fifth, and then there were so many excuses that he uttered there. And then also Lando Norris coming in and winning that particular race. So this time around, this weekend, we turn attention to motorsport. Let's see, because of Francisco Bagnaia, by the way, is the defending champion of that what you call motorsport, but he's not doing well. The Marquez guys, the Alex and the Max, are really flying high. So let's wait and see. There is Austrian MotoGP. Hopefully they will do well, because I'm looking at the standings as well. I realized that he's way behind Francisco Bagnaia. So currently, as far as the standings are concerned, Mike of the Ducati, because majority of them they're driving Ducati cars. So should I say those the bikes?
Yes.
So it's currently at top of the standings with 381 points, followed by Alex Marquez 261. You can see that it's a huge gap of 120 points, of which you check Francisco Bagnaia at number 3, 213. Yes. So the gap is almost as 168. So which means that he's really trailing and needs to make sure that he pushes with the, I think, 12 to 11 races that are left for the season. So it's not looking good as a defending champion. Marco Bezzecchi is at number 4 with 156 points, followed by, I'll only stick with the top 5 due to time constraints.
Yes,
Fabio Gianantonio, so at number 5 with 142. So let's see if they will be able to do well. When we come back, we'll give you the feedback and the current standings, if he has done well or not. But I still think the Marquez people, it's their season, just like on the F1 motor racing. We've got the Lando Norris, McLaren, who are doing so well so far. So very interesting with the motorsport. It's Austrian MotoGP this coming weekend.
Due to time constraint, now we're changing gears from motor racing, motorsport, whatever you call it, and dive straight to tennis. I believe Cincinnati is currently underway in as far as tennis is concerned. To us, Madiba.
Indeed, and you check, there were so many upsets in those matches. The quarterfinals, I'm looking from the women criteria there, where Arina Sabalenka as well, she bowed out as well. I think she lost to Elena Rybakina, of which I'm sure she must have been disappointed with herself. Only on 2 sets, 6-1 and 6-4. So it's like, it's unlike her. You know, also she didn't do well in the Wimbledon, where at some point she was during Roland Garros a sore loser after losing to Coco Gauff. You can see that she hasn't recovered from that trauma of losses, because of so far suffered 3 losses back to back, so it's not looking good. In other results of the quarterfinals, Iga Swiatek, the current Wimbledon winner, by the way, she managed to progress to the semifinals against Anna Kalinskaya there on 6-3, 6-4, 2 sets as well. And then we saw Vavana Gracheva there up against Veronika Kudermetova there, as Veronika Kudermetova managed to win also on 2 sets, 6-1 as well as 6-2. And then also you look at this morning at 2:30, Coco Gauff up against Jasmine Paolini, the 2 Wimbledon's winners.
Yes.
You see, Coco Gauff just won this current year, and then Jasmine Paolini last year. I still remember Rondani was in studio when he unpacked everything. So this time Jasmine Paolini shocked Coco Gauff in 3 sets, having lost the first set 2-6, but she recovered with the second and the third 6-4 and 6-3. So she will be progressing to the semifinals, Jasmine Paolini. So it's very, very interesting. So let's see, because of Arina Sabalenka was the defending champions in the Cincinnati, but then she didn't do well. So in terms of the semifinal fixtures from the women's side, Elena Rybakina will host Iga Swiatek, and also Veronika Kudermetova will host the very same Jasmine Paolini. So I'm anticipating it's a tricky one from the Elena Rybakina up against Iga Swiatek, because of both of them. They shocked Arina Sabalenka, and hopefully that one is still, should I say Iga Swiatek, she's still the confidence from the Wimbledon title. So let's wait. Hopefully we might see Iga Swiatek up against Jasmine Paolini. I'm just interested in that, but we'll have to wait and see the outcome today of the semi-final, because hopefully this wonderful Cincinnati will be ending on Monday, the 18th of this August. So from the men's side as well, so we realized that there was very interesting results there, where I see Carlos Alcaraz played against Andrew Rublev, of which Carlos Alcaraz won on 3 sets despite having lost the second set. So on 3 sets, 6-3 as well as 7-5, but he lost the second set on 4-6. So you look at Ben Shelton up against Alexander Zverev. Alexander Zverev won on 2 sets, 6-2 and 6-2. And then the other results of the quarterfinal, Yannick Sinner up against the very same Alexander Felix Auger-Aliassime there, where he won 6-0 and 6-2. So with the semi-finals fixtures that are taking place, Yannick Sinner will host Terence Atmani. Terence Atmani, I think he's brought in some upsets, because of when I looked into the rankings, I found that he's 136, of which very surprising, very way far, but he managed to cause some upset. So you look at also the other fixture that's taking place, Alexander Zverev up against Carlos Alcaraz. Chances are we might see Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz in the final, the repeat of the Wimbledon. So it looks so interesting, but let's wait and see. When we come back as well, we'll bring the results and look ahead to some of the actions that will be taking place, because the current preparations is all about the US Open that is taking place in the next coming month. So Yannick Sinner so far will be saying, I want to defend this title. What I did in the Wimbledon, I want to repeat it in the Cincinnati. So good luck to all the men and the women as far as Cincinnati's Open is concerned. So this is Cincinnati, very, very interesting tournament.
Oh yes, it is interesting indeed. That's how the cookie crumbles in as far as the tennis is concerned, in as far as the Cincinnati is concerned. Unfortunately, the bad news in as far as the women category is concerned is that Coco Gauff has been sent packing by the Italian star in form and shape of Jasmine Paulin. And I can just quickly go back to cricket. I can tell you that that match is still underway between South Africa and Australia. The scoreboard reads 144 runs, still with Tristan Stubbs and Rassie van der Dussen operating in the crease. So by the look of things, it looks like they have definitely stabilized the innings. And yes, 200 mark might be a little bit too much, considering that we are now sitting at the 16th over. So let's hope we'll get at least around about 180 is something that is definitely a defendable scoreline in as far as T20 cricket is concerned. Let's go for a breather. When we return, we'll be talking football.
Dewald Brevis, 100 runs. Youngest South African to score a T20 International 100. Sorry, Australia. He's been hitting Adam Zampa out of the park. Australian commentators even said, I think the lights are too bright for the Australian fielders. Dewald is too bright for you. Dewald!
Ever heard a baby bellow at the top of its lungs in a public place, far from your best music track, right? For a more beautiful note, contact Nirvana Sounds for your studio and live recordings. We engineer sound to perfection according to your specifications. We ensure crisp and clear audio-video conversions and delight your function with sound, stage, and lights for hire. Our quotes are immeasurable to the ear. Contact us now on 083-945-7664. Nirvana Sounds, powered by Gospel World FM.
Getting your business seen online can be tricky and confusing. At Silly Moose Designs, we offer a comprehensive list of services that can be personalized according to your budget and your marketing goals. From hosting to ranking on search engines, we've got you covered. Visit sillymoosedesigns.co.za to get started. We'll approach your website with passion, purpose, and power. Silly Moose Designs is a proud partner of Nirvana World FM.
In a world where compassion is needed, Ashraful Aid lent a hand to the Palestinian refugees. A source of warmth in the chill of winter, we supported children and families in Jordan. An indication to humanity's resilience and the power of unity. Embrace the spirit of giving because every bit counts. Together we can make a difference. Donate today.
All summer long.
We are still tuning in to Sports Geek with the Spanel Ngobo here on Nirvana World FM, your beat, your music, and we do come to you live from our Lenasia studios south of Johannesburg, Ekole, Gauteng, Maboneng, Wanaga. That's where you find us. Backlines are thrown between South Africa and Australia. It is happening right now in cricket. There is a down under in Australia. The Proteas, they lock horns with Australia, and the Aussies, the home side, they won the toss and they opted to bowl first. And by the look of things, I can tell you now, the scoreboard reads 150, having lost, listen to this, 6 wickets. Like they always say, an over is a very, very long time in cricket. It's just in 1 over we've lost 2 wickets. But the good thing is that the scoreboard keeps on ticking in favor of South Africa. The scoreboard now reads 151 in favor of South Africa, having lost 6 wickets. So I can tell it doesn't look that bad. It's a question of will the bowlers bring on their A game when Australia eventually come in to try and overhaul that scoreboard. And then in rugby, don't forget that this afternoon it's happening here in Johannesburg. Ellis Park to be exact, 5:10, Springboks versus the Wallabies. As we wrap our show, let's quickly dive straight to football. It is happening after 2 months hiatus of local or domestic football. Finally, Betway Premiership got back to our screens and fields. So as our radio stations last weekend, Betway Premiership finally got back, kickstart their campaign last season. Mudiba, what a cracker of getting the Betway Premiership underway.
Most definitely, if you can check as well, we anticipated that Mamelodi Sundowns, as the defending champions, had to start well. Orlando Pirates, as they assembled a good quality of squad, and the new coach Prislam Wado at the helm, so they'll definitely have to start well. And also, as they've been predicted as the winners of the current Betway Premiership, but it wasn't to be. Guess what? They suffered 2 defeats. We'll come to the results shortly. So
who's that?
Orlando Pirates, yes. And then you look at Kaizer Chiefs as well. They didn't do well in the process. Remember when they lost to the Asante Kotoko while we were speaking here in studio? Majority were saying they're going to struggle, and guess what? They've just collected 2 victories as well. So speaking of the results as well, and the Swahili FC started the campaign so well, coached by Lhono Sema with a 3-1 victory over Golden Arrows. And Orlando Pirates as well, they lost to Sekhukhune United. What a game it was, a facility game, high tempo game, but Sekhukhune United managed to get the goal courtesy of Speciclem Kize there. So you look at Richards Bay as well, they lost 2-1 to Marumo Gallants. Marumo Gallants under the new coach Alexandre Lafitte from France, 28 years old coach, whom has won the league with the Stade Abidjan. He's got an interesting track record when I'm looking into his record as well. He's also coached PSG youth as well. So also Polokwane City played to a goalless draw with Magesi, Putume Hafi up against John Maduka in an Mpopo derby. So they yet to score a goal in the 3 matches that they've played. Remember, they lost 2-0 to Orlando Pirates in the MTN 8. They also just lost midweek to Kaizer Chiefs. So we'll come to that shortly. And then Chippa United played to a 1-0 draw against Mamelodi Sundowns, of which you look at, we never saw it coming because Mamelodi Sundowns have always dominated the fixture. They've been a Hulu team to Chippa United. Snetemba Badela, I think he was excited, but midweek he suffered a loss. And there also rumors speculating that he's not in good terms with the director, Snesi Pomali. So we'll have to wait and see because of he can part ways with the club anytime from now.
Chippa United.
That's Chippa United for you, which means that he is the 44th coach coaching the club, but also on the verge of going to be shown the door. So also Amazulu played up against newcomers Orbit College, of which they won courtesy of an on goal. The goalkeeper there, Moerani there, conceding an on goal, so that Athazwani and his team can get the 3 points. On Sunday, what a match between Kaizer Chiefs and Stellenbosch. Kaizer Chiefs took the lead from a free kick of Ngosingi Pile Ngobo, but unfortunately, unfortunately for Stellenbosch, they were denied by the woodwork twice, Sadele Bands as well as Devin Tatas. So that's how they lost the match, because they dominated the match despite being 1 man down, because one of their players, or should I say defender, Sivuyo Nkwali, was red carded following a professional foul against one of Kaizer Chiefs. So that's when they also considered a penalty when Ashley Dupree was fouled inside the box by Omega Mtaka, the very same former Kaizer Chiefs who comes from the development, and the penalty was awarded Claudio Lepo, converting the spot. That's how Kaizer Chiefs continued with their hoodie over Stellenbosch. 4 victories against Stellenbosch on the trot. So which shows
what
that
more should Stellenbosch do to beat Kaizer Chiefs?
a good question as well, because of we look at Steve Barker against the neighbors Orlando Pirates. He always does well, but he struggles against Kaizer Chiefs. Hence we get the ways that football doesn't have therefore. So TS Galaxy as well went down 2-0 against the Durban City. Gavin Hunt started so well, where one of the players, Samkelo Maseko, was the man of the match and managed to score a brace in that match at the Mbombela Stadium, which means that TS Galaxy have suffered 3 losses. Will come to their other loss midweek, as Adnan Beganovic, he needs to improve, because of even last season they experienced the same number of losses with the outgone coach Siat Ramovic, so it's not looking good. So midweek as well, Orlando Pirates once again they suffered another loss at the expense of Marumo Gallants. Marumo Gallants are doing well under new Alexandra Lafitte, the new coach as well. 2-1 it was the scoreline after Patrick Masongani took the lead, and then they bounced back. Daniel Musandami, the Zimbabwean, scored the equalizer, and there was also a player called Clifford who scored the winner. But Orlando Pirates, I think, were hard done in this game because of they were denied 2 straight penalties by the referee Tandon Sanseka. So it was poor refereeing or at some point, but then should have done better with the chances they got, because I saw Marumo Gallants goalkeeper there, Washington Arubi, making some brilliant saves and keeping his team into the match while they were trailing 1-0. So it's hard luck to the Buccaneers, but let's see, because of the now changing the gears as far as MTN 8 is concerned. We'll come to that shortly as well. Mamelodi Sundowns emerged 2-0 victorious at Loftus Stadium against Ushutu Omabeshanko, I should say, Nyongane Hlazana. So that's how they lost the match. Ikhram Rinas, as well as Tasharik Matthews were the scorers in that game, which means Mamelodi Sundowns continues to dominate this fixture as well. So it's good results from Miguel Cardoso, who's been under pressure because of, Fleming Beck, the sporting director, wants results, wants trophies. So Orbit College newcomers as well surprised Suwelele FC, as we were singing praise last weekend that they thrashed Golden Arrows 3-1. Leshon Losema against his former coach Golden Arrows. This time around, he's surprised by the newcomers under the leadership of Pogiso Mahoye. So 1-0 it was the scoreline in that match. So on Wednesday, Skoko United won 1-0 against TS Galaxy. Like I said, they continue to struggle. Eric Tintler is doing well so far. Makesi FC, which means they did the double over TS Galaxy because of he managed to beat them 3-2 in the MTN 8. So this time around in the league match, 1-0. The sniper himself, Bradley Grobler, was the goal scorer. You can see that he really enjoys playing against TS Galaxy, because in that MTN 8, he scored a brace. Makesi FC up against Stellenbosch. Makesi are yet to record their victory, but at least they managed to come back from behind to level the score 1-0, with Stellenbosch having taken the lead courtesy of Langelihle Pili. So of which they were looking for a win after losing to Kaizer Chiefs. So they went to Seshego Stadium at least to come away with point after Homoso Mosadi level the score. Kaizer Chiefs as well, they won against Polokwane City. Oh, what a low block Polokwane City organized in that game. They made life difficult for Kaizer Chiefs. As I always say when I analyze that, it's always difficult playing against a team with a low block. But finally, they managed to get that chance, courtesy of a super sub, specifically Ndlovu, the former Orlando Pirates, Marispec United, and Supersport United. So Golden Arrows won 1-0 in a KZN derby against Richards Bay. Richards Bay are not doing well. Ronnie Gabriel, Sponiso Kumete, as well as Papiso Twane, they need to go back to the drawing board as they lost by an odd goal 2-0 there. Junior Dion, the new signing there, scoring the only goal of the match there. Durban City also surprised Chippa United. That's where this news started coming up that Snetema Badela won't last at the club. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's see come next week where more fixtures are coming by. Chippa United will host TS Galaxy on Tuesday next weekend. Durban City up against Golden Arrows in a KZN derby. Kaizer Chiefs will host Richards Bay. I think they'll be seeking revenge. Richards Bay shocked Kaizer Chiefs 2-0 last season. Orbit College up against Kukuni United, the on-form team Kukuni. Suwelele FC up against Polokwane City as well. Polokwane City needs to start getting the results. And then on Wednesday, we've got Marumo Gallants away to Amazulu. Makesi FC will host Mamelodi Sundowns. So I'm not so sure if it's Seshego Stadium or Old Peter Mokaba Stadium. So I'll find out further. The Orlando Pirates are playing another tricky fixture against Stellenbosch at the Orlando Stadium. They are in a must-win situation as the coach has been under pressure, has been under scrutiny. The fans are not happy with the way he dishes up things because of in that game against Marumo Gallants midweek, he brought in Relemo Mofokeng as a sub, of which during the tenure of Jose Rivero, the player started all the matches. So very, very surprising there. Those are the fixtures coming up next week. But so far, Kaizer Chiefs, Durban City, who tops the league. Kaizer Chiefs second, Marumo Gallants third, Skogo United fourth as well. Yeah, those are the 4 teams who've won so far out of 2 matches. Mamelodi Sundowns comes up with a win and a draw, so they still have to push up because it's still early days. For those who are interested, they can shoot the league and come during game number 30 and say, oh, this today you are here at game number 30, second game you are in number whatsoever. So far so good, very, very interesting as well.
Very, very interesting, and you touched on a very, very good point that some teams, they might as well go on and take the picture of the current log standings, keep it for record purposes. Which takes me straight to my next question. And just mind you, time is not on our side. Just a quick one from you, Modiba, because like I said, you did touch on the very, very good point, sure, which takes me straight to the next question. Orlando Pirates, they've lost their 2 opening games. On the other side, Kaizer Chiefs, they've won their first 2 games. What do you make of that? Especially Orlando Pirates losing their first 2 games. Should Amapakania start pressing the panic button, or it's still fine?
They already started pressing panic buttons because whenever I try to do my research and check up those feedbacks, they'll be saying the coach must score, the coach must score. I'm like, I even said on Supersport fan base last week Saturday that they must be patient with the coach, because in 2023 they played their first match of the season against Stellenbosch. They lost 1-0, and they also stated Jose Rivero must score. What happened in the end? He won the Nedbank Cup as well as the MTN 8. They must just be patient with the coach, but the coach as well must just go back to basics. You need to bring back the likes of your talent Mpata, Etsofatso Mabasa, Evisen Mahopa. Those are the players who made Orlando Pirates where they are today. So make sure that Relebo Mofokeng start matches, because the only player who has left the club is Mohaung Kota and also Karim Kimvuidi, if we were talking transfer news. But so far, you must just make sure that you don't make hostile changes to make sure that you try some different combinations which are not working. Orlando Pirates is a big team. There's too much pressure there.
There's too much pressure, ergo Orlando Pirates. And then you went on and said Orlando Pirates faithfuls, they should just be patient. They should not press that panic button as yet, even though they've lost their first 2 opening games. Talking of Orlando Pirates and not pressing the panic button, oh boy, do they have the tough assignment this afternoon as they lock horns with the none other than Mamelodi Sundowns in the MTN 8 semi-final first leg at Orlando Stadium. Do you really and honestly expect Orlando Pirates faithfuls to be patient looking at this afternoon's encounter should they lose it against Mamelodi Sundowns, whom they had been dominating for the previous years, especially when it comes to cup football? This afternoon, backlands are drawn. Orlando Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns. And mind you, the Orlando Pirates, they are the defending champions of this very, very cup. MTN 8, Wafa.
You're talking about the 3 times champions on the trot. You see pressure is on them. Already they'll start panicking and pressing those panic buttons, because Mamelodi Sundowns will be saying, we are seeking revenge. Orlando Pirates have beaten us, like rightfully said, in all the MTN 8. I'll start back there when they were coached by, is it that coach, Leon? Julio Leon from Brazil. That's why they managed to surprise Sundowns by beating him in the semi-finals on 2-leg ties. They've also, when Yosef was here in the semi-finals, that 3-0 at Old New Peter Mokaba after a 0-0 draw at the very same venue where the action is taking place today. And then you look at the others, 2023 on penalties in the final at Moses Mapida, where there was too many wind blowing there. So I think for me, Mamelodi Sundowns, I spoke last week that this MTN 8 is the Audi Trophy. So they need to do well, because of, you check Coach Miguel Cardoso hasn't done well domestically. Rulani Mokoena, Mangoba Mngqi, hence the 2 were shown the door. So this time around, he didn't do well in the CAF Champions League, Nedbank Cup, as well as FIFA Club World Cup. And we all know Flaming back the Germanian, if results are not coming by, then he shows you the door. So pressures also on both sides for me. Abdesalam Wado from the fans, because of, if I can alert the fans as well, it is a sold out affair. And then to the fans out there, whatever outcome that is coming into the match, make sure that you accept the defeat, or either a win or a draw, because of the second leg will definitely take place next weekend. No throwing of objects. Arrive at stadium on time. Punctuality, timekeeping is very, very important. And the referee as well must just be on point. So those are some of the things that might transpire there, because of, I realize realized that the game between the two sides is always a crash game. Remember what happened at FNB when Lemofukeng scored a brace after they won 2-1 there. Mamelodi Sundowns trying to come back courtesy of Kholiso Mudau, but it wasn't enough. So they've always dominated Orlando Pirates have always dominated Mamelodi Sundowns in cup matches. So both of them, they're under pressure for me.
And then the second semi-final?
6 o'clock today as well. Stellenbosch will host Sekhukhune United at the Danny Craven, which means that I look at I profiled Eric Tintler. I realized that he's got a poor record against Stellenbosch. You go back to the days of Cape Town City. Every season he lost twice against Stellenbosch, either 1-0, 3-0, and then you look at Steve Barker at the very same time. He's under pressure of the fact that last season he was in the final of this very same MTN 8 where he lost 3-1 against Orlando Pirates. So he will be saying, I want to redeem myself. I want to suppress Sekhukhune United like I did before. But then you check also, you go back to 2022 where Stellenbosch also hosted Sekhukhune United in the Nedbank Cup semi-finals. I remember I was at Super Sports Studio. I had to sit there for about until 10 o'clock where the game had to go on penalties. Until the very same Sekhukhune United won on penalties, but they lost in the final against Orlando Pirates 2-1. So which means that you look at the likes of Bratle Grobler, new signings as well, that doing well for the club. There's a young player there at the back, Mudipi Tokol. He's been introduced. He's gone 2 back-to-back man of the matches playing against the likes of Daniel Cardoso. So their goalkeeper as well, Ronaldo Lina, is doing well. You look at on the other side, Stellenbosch, Sage Stevens. So they won 3-2 against Amazulu. The only concern with Stellenbosch is that they are conceding goals. You look at how they conceded against Kaizer Chiefs as well. They need to fix their defense. How they conceded against Makesi, they need to fix their defense as well. Apart from that, they've got exciting players. Your Devin Titus, your Sanele Bans, Lisiba Nku, if given a chance, and Red Young, very impressive for me. So for me, that one I see a lovely draw. So with the Pirates Sundowns one, I think Mamelodi Sundowns will take this one. They are more hungrier and seeking revenge against the very same wounded Orlando Pirates.
Oh, there you have it, South Africa. Our sports analyst in the championship of Matiba Peter has just called it that in the first semi-final he expects the Mamelodi Sundowns, Bafana Bastille, the mighty Brazilians, to walk away victorious and add more salt on the Orlando Pirates bleeding wound. The big question is, will Orlando Pirates be able to stomach that third loss on the trot? Personally, I do not expect Orlando Pirates to handle that loss pretty well. Surely it is going to be a bitter pill to swallow in as far as Orlando Pirates faithfuls are concerned. In the second semi-final, Stellenbosch versus Sekhukhune, you said
I said it's a lovely draw because I've watched the stats between the two sides. It's always draws. So but this one I'll go for goalless. So I think they'll wrap up it next weekend. So with Pirates, they'll miss the like of Nkosines TBC will not be available. Makatlane Makaula due to injuries.
Yes, now moving away from MTN 8, which is taking place this afternoon. MTN 8 Wafa. The first semi-final, it is the Orlando Pirates. They host Mamelodi Sundowns, and then the second semi-final will see Stellenbosch locking horns with Sekhukhune United. Babina Nogo Hadiba Hlabe. They'll be led by the head coach in the form and shape of Eric Tinkler. Now moving away from MTN 8 and straight to Betway Premiership transfer news. What's happening in that part of the world?
Who's firing who? Like you always said, who's biting the dust? So you see, so it's really continuing. Hopefully towards this month end it will be our last transfer window because of it will be a closure of this particular transfer window. So I'll go to Clearcop, Mamelodi Sundowns. They've just parted ways with Neo Mayema, Martias Esquivel, as well as Tembinkosi Lodge. So that's Miguel Cardoso is really saying that it's reducing the number of players who are in the squad. So by the looks of things, when I try to interpret the situation, I realize that maybe he's trying to cut the cost of buying so many players, but they're not getting game times. And you look at Tapelo Maseko and Terence Macho, they're also on the verge of leaving the club, but we'll have to wait and see as time goes forward. Orlando Pirates as well, they parted ways with Karim Kimvuidi, the DRC there. Marumo Gallants, they've just announced the former Orlando Pirates and Dabeteton Tlonto into the club. So he's gone back to that because before he went to Orlando Pirates, he was at Marumo Gallants. You go to Chippa United, they've just announced the signing of striker Somilan Tsundwana, the former Richards Bay striker as well. So, and there's also announced Sianda Poisa, the winger there for the club there. So, and also Durban City, when I go to Durban City, they've just announced midfielder, the former Cape Town City, Tahir Hudeman, as their player as well. Pakamani Matlambi is also on the verge of going to sign a contract because currently he is training with the club. Remember Pakamani Matlambi during the days of Gavin Hunt at Bidvest Chippa United. So he's on the verge of coming back. He's now 27 years old. You can see that age is taking his number because he started playing at a young age. So let's wait and see. Kaizer Chiefs as well, they've just announced the signing of Asana Lefele Pai. Remember remember how this matter had to go to PSL resolute discipline and whatsoever. But Cape Town Spurs are not giving up despite the player being announced at Naturena. Very, very interesting. Those are the signings making headlines up to so far.
Oh, yes, it is interesting indeed. Things are happening as far as Betway Premiership is concerned. Transfer news, still with the transfer news, the news that we got this morning, it is actually the breaking news, is that the Bafana striker in the form and shape of Percy Tau was just signed a 1-year contract with the Vietnam team. Yes,
wow.
Percy Tau has finally found a home. He's been without a club for some time now, so we can close that chapter. Percy Tau has signed with the Vietnam outfit. Now, moving away from domestic football and go straight to international football, European football to be exact. Time is not on our side. European football is coming back to our screens yet again. English Premier League, so as La Liga finally returns this weekend.
And it kick-started yesterday, and as Liverpool, the defending champions, were in action against Bournemouth, and they thrashed Bournemouth by 4-2. So you can see that they had a perfect start. So with some of the fixtures that are taking place this weekend, Aston Villa will host Newcastle at 1:30. Brighton later on at 4 o'clock will host Fulham. Sunderland will take on West Ham United there at 4 o'clock as well. So is Tottenham Hotspur up against Burnley, and then the Wolves will play Man City. And tomorrow as well at 3 o'clock, there's Nottingham Forest up against Brentford, and Chelsea up against Crystal Palace. And the big one that is taking place tomorrow, Man United up against Arsenal. Can they continue with that losing streak, or are we going to see a different, rejuvenated Man United? Can we see the on from Arsenal we saw last season? I think the answer to that, we'll get it at around 7:30. Very interesting so far. Tomorrow, yes. And then on Monday, Leeds United will take on Everton. Kickoff is at 9 o'clock. And the Manchester United up against Arsenal will take place at 5:30.
Oh, yes, it is going to be interesting indeed, that encounter. Manchester United versus Arsenal. The big question is, will Manchester United get back to winning ways to be the old Manchester United that we grew up and knowing, dominating English Premier League? On the other side, Arsenal, they've been Amper Maris Tamper for the past 3 seasons, almost a dozen count, like they say. And Arsenal, they've been showing us exactly that, always playing that bridesmaid role in as far as the English Premier League is concerned. Is this the season that Arsenal might just eventually go all the way and get over the line and win the English Premier League and stop playing the bridesmaid role to Manchester City and Liverpool? Arsenal, we are watching you.
Indeed, and I'm also eyeing Chelsea as well. Remember the FIFA Club champions, by the way, after they've done a fantastic job there during the FIFA Club World Cup. Hopefully, they'll take that confidence from the FIFA Club World Cup and bring it inside the EPL. Who knows? They can stand a chance to win this particular EPL, like Man United, like Arsenal, that's Chelsea. There are so many, Liverpool as well. It looks very interesting. Let's wait and see come next week when we come up with the results and other fixtures that will be taking place for the EPL side.
Spanish football, La Liga is back as well.
Indeed, as well. Kickstarted last night as well, where Girona lost 3-1 at home against Rayo Vallecano, and then Villarreal as well won 2-0 against Oviedo. So it looks like the Oviedo are the newcomers. They just lost their first match there. Then this afternoon as well, should I say later tonight as well, Mallorca will host Barcelona. The defending champions are in action as well. Let's see if they'll have a bright start to the new season. Alaves up against Levante as well. Valencia will host Real Sociedad at 9:30. So is Alaves up against Levante. And then tomorrow as well, Celta Vigo will host Getafe at 5 o'clock. And then 7:30 we've got Atletico Club up against Sevilla. And then Espanyol up against Atletico Madrid at 7:30. Should I say 9:30? So is Elche newcomers up against Real Betis. And lastly, Real Madrid up against Osasuna. What a tough game to look forward to tomorrow at 9 o'clock as well.
That's what to expect as far as Spanish football is concerned. That is La Liga for you. Time is definitely not on our side. I guess it is time for us to sign off.
Indeed. Let's just correct that. Real Madrid will play Osasuna on Tuesday, 9 o'clock, not tomorrow. Correction to that. But then it's been a lovely show. We have been schooled as far as rugby is concerned, and plenty of action is taking place this afternoon and later tonight. Good luck to our very own Proteas, and I know that they'll make it 6 out of 6 tonight. So, and also on the other side, let's see who will emerge victorious as far as Cincinnati Open is concerned. The Iga Swiatek or the other Elena Rybakina. It's a big match for the weekend there. So as well, football, Betway Premiership, MTN 8, like I said, Pirates fans, behave yourself. Mamelodi Sundowns, behave yourself. No throwing of objects. Arriving time at the stadiums. EPL is back, as well as Spanish La Liga. So with that, yeah, it's a very good afternoon. This is Mutiba Peter. Let's meet again next weekend, 11 o'clock.
Oh yes, that's how the cookie crumbles. Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. Please bring your best behavior this afternoon at Orlando Stadium in that MTN 8 semi-final first leg. No funny behavior. Just take the result and walk away. Do not throw any missiles whatsoever. And be reminded once again, it is currently happening out in Australia. South Africa versus Australia in cricket. The Proteas, I can tell you that the first innings, South Africa, they've gone on and posted 172 runs for having lost 7 wickets. It is the tea break right now. What does that mean? That simply means that Australia, they need 173 runs within 20 overs to win this match. And the current run rate of 8.16 run rate. That's what Australia, they will need to do if they are to overhaul that 172 runs posted by the mighty Proteas, posted by South Africa. Let's hope South African bowlers, they will definitely restrict the Australian batsmen. And this afternoon, 5:10 at Ellis Park Stadium here in Johannesburg, it is the Springboks versus Australia yet again. Tomorrow morning, South African time at 3 o'clock in the morning in mixed martial arts, Dricus du Plessis will be doing it against the Russian Kimaev. Let's hope Dricus du Plessis will do what he does best, flying the South African flag with pride. On that note, I am Spondolo Ngcobo. Let's do this once again. Come next week between 11 o'clock and 1 p.m. here on Nirvana World FM. Your beat, your music, and the show is Sportscape with Spondolo Ngcobo, co-piloting it with none other than Mutiba Peter. On that note, it is bye-bye. Bye-bye.
पाके तुझे मैं खोया खोया मन खोया खोया जो पाया तुझे मैं खोया खोया छू सकूं मैं ना मुड़ सकूं तुझ में कहीं हूँ मैं फिर भी नहीं हूँ मैं ना मैं रुकूं ना चल सकूं अपनी ही